Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen, it's going down at the Pike. It's going down at the Pike. Hey, it's going down at the Pike. P-Valley! It's going down at the Pike. Listen. This is just a very quick recap of season 1 of P-Valley, aka Puss Valley. All right. So you all have requested that I would watch this series, and let me tell you something. I was a little put off because I'm like, why am I watching a show about strippers and why am I watching a show about strippers? Why would that be anything compelling to me? I don't want to hear nothing about no strippers. Y'all knew better than I did. Y'all knew better than I did. And I thank you. And I really do thank you. Because this has been an interesting season 1. Now listen. You all who are watching probably know all about season 1 because this is a prelude of me watching season 2, and we're going to do season 2 as a watch along. But we were introduced to a lot of characters. We've got Mercedes. Mercedes is the OG. She's been stripping at the Pike for about 7 or 8 years. Honey, she had her little swan song, and then she had issues and problems and issues with her mama. Christian holy roller who wants redemption and everything for herself, but she can give a good doggone about anybody else, particularly her daughter. Child, this woman took Mercedes' interest in opening a gym. If you all are familiar with that series Dancing Dolls and all that other stuff that comes on, I don't remember what it was because I didn't watch it. But she wants to open that in that kind of a la style like that. She has dreams of, being the coach and having dreams of her children, of the girls really shining in that area. She's also has dreams of getting her daughter back. We find out that Mercedes has like a 15, 16-year-old daughter. She doesn't have custody. Apparently, the baby's father and the baby's father's stepmother is one that had custody. The baby father passed away. We don't know how he passed away, but because of Mercedes and Mercedes' lifestyle, she didn't have everything together. She no longer has custody of her child, so she is still working, trying to get custody of her child. In the meantime, in between time, what Mercedes did is that she entrusted her mother this holy roller. She figured if her mother was going to be holy and saved and not the woman that she claimed she used to be, she can kind of drop her money in the church building fund. The church was okay, meaning that they needed enough money to get a certain type of loan. And so as long as Mercedes was dropping that money in the coffers of the building fund, everything was fine. Mercedes' mother was the treasurer. Everything worked out well, up until the fact that when Mercedes' mother was not offered a position to be able to preach in the pulpit because Mercedes' mama could sing her behind off and she can get these offerings running, but the all males club of the particular church that she belonged to, they liked her as far as her getting everything she needed to get into to get Mercedes to put her money in there. But because she was a woman, they were not going to entrust that pulpit to her. And she had to find that out the hard way. Finding that out the hard way, she put it upon herself that, hey, she could preach. But she didn't have enough money to open up a thing. So she took the money out, knowing Mercedes was looking for that money. And baby, she done took Mercedes' hard-earned stripper money and put a down payment. And this is how petty she was. Put a down payment on the spot that Mercedes was going to put her gym so that she could put her church. Child, we saw what happened to that. Mercedes beat her down straight to the ground, and both her and Mercedes went to jail and had to sit in jail because they didn't have no way to post that bail. Let's keep it moving. We've got Autumn aka Haley, aka whatever you want to call her, bless her heart. She was in the middle of a hurricane. She had a boyfriend, pimp, whatever he was. They were doing some funny things with some monies. We learned later that she worked in the bank. She's a financial officer. This girl is a college educated, smart young lady. She got hooked up with the Montravius Hill, who apparently is, I don't know if he was a drug dealer. I don't know exactly how he was making his funny money, but it was $250,000. And Haley and another young man swooped and finagled to get that money out from under Montravius. However, Hurricane Drake came through. Montravius was whooping her tail, trying to get that money and everything like that. Hurricane Drake came through, and Haley lost her baby. She put her baby in the car. They was getting ready to get away. Montravius went to fighting, and next thing you know, Hurricane Drake hit, and baby, that poor baby, I don't know what that baby's name was, but she was lost to the flood. Montravius survived and Haley survived. Haley was on her way to be through FEMA to be relocated to Atlanta, but she saw the bus that she was on did a little stop in the MI Crooked Letter, Mississippi. She looked over the hill and she saw Chucalissa. I think that's how they say it, Chucalissa, and she ended up at the Pink stripping. Then we have Kenyon, whatever her name is. She's stripper at the Pink. Good stripper, second fiddle to Mercedes, because Mercedes is, as Uncle Clifford calls her, his bottom bitch. See all these little terms, child, all these little terms. And Kenyon is with this man that's whooping her tail. She done had 2 babies by this man who's whooping her tail. Her first baby that her mama or her grandmother is keeping. She just had a baby. She's breastfeeding. She's doing all this thing. But every time she comes in the dance, she's got a situation where her boyfriend has beat her up. And then we find out later she going with this white guy. I guess she had to have him, and he is not able to make the money that he thinks he's supposed to make. I think he probably came from a good family, and they told her, oh, well, you be with Kenyon, we ain't gonna give you nothing. And so he's having to learn how to live with nothing, and so he's pissed off. And you know how some of them are a little mediocre. He's pissed off, so he's taking his anger and his frustrations out on her, because she's the real pretty little black girl. Baby, we have Gidget. Honey, Gidget is going with the dope runner, honey. She loves herself, the dope runner, but she's also taking care of her mother, who I appear. We didn't see her, but apparently she might be invalid. And because she's taking care of her invalid mom, going with the dope runner is a wonderful thing for her, because she gets to get that good dope, or Oxycontin, whatever she's getting for her money. That's fine. I'm trying to think. Oh, we have Lil Murda. Now, Lil Murda is an up-and-coming, aspiring rapper. He is being managed by some young man that works at the funeral home. He has dreams and aspirations to be this big rapper. His little raps and his beats ain't all what it needs to be. He gets hooked up with the DJ at the Pink. They get in there and start running all these little beats and things like that. He is definitely getting better. He's definitely showing his worth. However, he's a DL, and he is in love with him, some Uncle Clifford. And Uncle Clifford is the feminine presenting homosexual man who runs the Pink, who got the Pink from look like his grandmother Ernestine, who back in the day used to be called Ernestine, and she used to run that thing. And I guess because her diabetes not act up and she can't see no more, he took over. He's been doing a good job. He's been hiring the undesirables, aka Diamond, who's in love with Keenan, and aka Big L, who is a two-time felon. I think he committed murder or something happened. So he can't get no job anywhere else but at the Pink. So he hires all of these people. And they have this really little big old family going on at the Pink. So we see all of them going through their little trials and tribulations of stripping. You got little Murder trying to keep his desires and love for Uncle Clifford under wraps. However, his manager knows. Also, Kenyon knows, but Kenyon is trying to do everything she needs to do to be an Instagram success, social media success. And so she knows, so she is being his beard as far as she's going to be the woman that everybody sees, that he, everything, all of this stuff is going on, honey. Gone, little Murder. We got, talked about Mercedes. I talked about them. There's somebody else I am missing. We talk about Miss Haley, Autumn. We talked about that. Autumn is, she's Haley, aka Autumn. Autumn Dawn, I think is what her stripper name is. She's in there stripping, honey. With her light skin privilege, she ain't really doing too much, but she's looking around and she's learning everything, what's going on. You have Autumn figuring out that Andre, nice, tall, skinny, Andre, honey, he is a lawyer trying to work with the Promised Land Casino. Excuse me. He is a lawyer trying to work with the Promised Land Casino because they want to build a casino in Chickalisa. Chickalisa is the right type of place because it's right off the interstate. And, in Mississippi, they have laws that the casinos can't be on land. They have to be over the water. So you have to build the casinos over the water. He's working to get that done. We have the Kyle brothers. We have the two white brothers, and we have the biracial brother. What's his name? I can't think of his name. He doesn't want to sell. He wants to lease. The two white brothers want to sell because they want to be able to spend up the money like they wanted to spend up the money. All that stuff's been handed to them and they don't care. They just want to spend the money. However, the biracial child is looking at legacy and looking that you can get more money from the casinos if you lease the property over a certain period of time than you would getting this little lump sum of money. They don't want to do it. It's a whole lot. So then we get to the last episode. So this is all the stuff that's swirling. We have Andre, who has fallen for Autumn, aka Haley. However, he is a married man. And he is married because he grew up in Chucalissa. However, he hails from Atlanta because that's where his wife lives, who is an emergency room doctor, I'm assuming. And he is there, but honey, he done fell for Miss Autumn, child. He done fell for Miss Autumn. So now let's get to the last episode of season 1, Baby Called Murder. I'll put the title down right here somewhere. It'll probably be at the beginning of the video. When I tell you everything came to a head, everything came to a head. You got, and I failed to mention too, all of that stuff that's going on, that's the world with all the girls that are dancing. You have that plus the backdrop that Uncle Clifford hadn't been paying his taxes, hadn't been paying the stuff he needed to pay. So the people at the casino was trying to undermine him and buy his land because his land is right next to the Kyle place and it's on a levee. So he has really good prime land. And what they were trying to do is to buy it up under him. So the mayor, who's played by Isaiah Washington, child, if I hadn't seen his names in the credit, I wouldn't have thought that was Isaiah Washington. Girl, he got gold grills and gold teeth, child. And now that I remember, I think he had some issues and problems on this show too, because he always running his mouth. Old Isaiah, but I digress. Isaiah is the mayor, and he's doing everything he can to get that land out from under Uncle Clifford. Because Autumn is very aware about what's going on, she informs Uncle Clifford that these things are going on, but Uncle Clifford is not paying his debts. And so He don't have enough money, and it's worth $55,000. He don't have that $50,000. He ends up, he loses it to it's up for foreclosure, and it'll be auctioned off. So he don't have no way to round that money up. So baby, he decides that they're gonna have murder night, and at murder night they're gonna get all the ballers, because you remember I was telling you about Kenyon, Miss Mississippi, M.I. Crooked Letter. She took over as the bottom bitch from Mercedes, because like I said, Mercedes had left, and Mercedes had spent that time in jail with her mama because she beat her mama down to the concrete over by the Krogers. So we have Mercedes going to be there. She is going to dance, because she never did do her last dance, because like I said, she beat her mama down to the pavement at Kroger's. And so she is her and Murder are like the headliners. So they got people coming from Biloxi. They got people coming from all over the place to come to that little spot to put that money in. Uncle Clifford is hoping that they make enough money that they could buy the Pank back in auction. But even if he made like $60,000, he wasn't going to be able to put that, because anyway, let me keep going. So while all of this is going on, you remember I talked about Montravius, who was looking for Haley? He found her. He found out that she was at the Pank. Who else? Mercedes found out that Autumn was Haley. Excuse me. And she found out that she's being looked for. So then you have them. Now, let me go back a little bit. Throughout the season, you have different rooms at the Pink. You have the Cloud Room. That's where the big people could come to rollers. So whatever they desire will be done at the Cloud Room. And I almost called his name. One of the cowboys. I know his name begins with a C, but I can't think of what his name is. Is it Clifford? No, that's Uncle Clifford. I can't think of what the black Kyle brother's name is. But he goes to the Pink child, and he is always, and when I tell you he is always up there getting all his little fantasies done. He likes to do that slave play. Oh, that gets to my craw. But that is what he likes to do, and the girls will beat him into submission and all of this other stuff. So anyway, in this room, you have Montravius and Haley. Montravius wants his money, and he's real pissed off at Haley because Haley has turned against him, her and this other man, and apparently he has killed this other man. So I guess it's the days before the hurricane hit. Haley and this man had figured out a way to cheat Montravius out their money, but Haley didn't move fast enough to get her baby and to get out from around Montravius. She didn't move fast enough, because my thing is, if you got $250,000, ain't no way in the world I'd be worried about packing no bags. I could buy whatever I need over wherever it is I'm going, but she trying to pack a bag, and that's how she got caught up. But anyway, Montravius is at the Pink. He's got her in the Cloud Room, and he wants his money. And I mean he wants his money, because he is literally about to kill her. Mercedes figures out what's going on. She gets into the Cloud Room, and she's hemmed up in there with Haley. And Montravius don't care. He ain't thinking nothing about it. He's like, he wants his money. He ain't thinking about no lap dance. He ain't thinking about no liquor. He is wanting to get his money from Haley. They fight in there, and Big L and Diamond and all of them ain't where they supposed to be, child. Big L is trying to make this little side hustle, this side score. He ain't where he's supposed to be. And it ends up that Haley and Mercedes are hemmed up in there with Montravius fighting and all kinds of stuff. You got Diamond. He's so in love with Keenan or Kenyon. I can't think what her name is, but it'll be down here. He's so in love with her. He goes in there fighting this white boy, and I guess he thought it was going to be easy because he was a military vet. Child, Derek is his name, and Derek and Diamond was going back for and back, and honey, Derek was giving as good as he could dish it, child. Him and Diamond are rolling around in the thing. Lil Murder is on stage. He's trying to sing his little heart out. It's a whole lot of going on. So Uncle Clifford is pissed off because I also mentioned too, because like I said, I'm just trying to recap everything before we get to watch our second season. Lil Murder is having a little situation because his manager knows that he's on the DL and he likes Uncle Clifford. He's a little pissed off about that. Anyway, I'll let that alone. That's a pop culture chat. But he's a little pissed off because he's like, you got all these women around you and you want that a man pretending to be a woman. You know, he just got that kind of attitude. You have the executive from some label print, not the label, but an imprint of a label, trying to get Lil Murder, but he's really interested in Kenyon. I'm going to get her name, y'all. He's really interested in her. And the manager is pissed off because this fool gonna talk about a 360 deal. And if you know like I know, that's the worst deal you can get. But that's the whole thing about it. They sit up here and they try to Keyshawn. That's her name. I've been calling her Kenyon. Her name is Keyshawn. So I apologize for not calling the right name. It's Keyshawn. Keyshawn, Derek, and Diamond. But he's trying to fool the thing that Keyshawn is his beard, that he's in love with Keyshawn, when actually he's in love with Uncle Clifford. So now we've got all this stuff swirling. This has been the whole season. We're being introduced to the characters, and we got a whole lot of stuff swirling around in there, which leads us to Murder Night. And as I said, Montravius has Mercedes and Autumn, aka Haley, henned up in the cloud room. You got Big L, who's outside with the drug runner, trying to do a side deal because the Pink is closed and the Pink is about to be foreclosed on. He's doing a whole side deal. You have Diamond fussing and fighting with Derek in the honor of Keyshawn. And like I said, you got all this swirling around. Uncle Clifford's feelings are hurt because Murder is having to perpetrate like him and Clifford are not together. And so he gets in his feelings about that because he thought that their relationship was going to be in the open when it's not. And Murder is trying to explain. He can't really explain what's going on. Child, you got Diamond confronting Derek in the bathroom. They get to fighting. There's a gun involved. Then you have Montravia confronting Haley. Confronting Haley and Mercedes in the cloud room. All of this is going on. All the other security, he ain't nowhere to be found. Uncle Clifford goes into this office and he sees the cameras where Autumn and Mercedes are getting beat up by Montravius. He gets the gun. He gets a gun in a box because, they were collecting contraband from people. He gets the gun, child. He goes in there. They get to fighting, roughing and tussling. Autumn says she's going to go get the money. She gets the money. They're ruffling and tussling. A gunshot goes off. Diamond is fighting Derek in the front of the club. Everybody leaves the club. He's whooping up and beating up on Derek, and what happens? He's doing all this in Keyshawn's honor, and then Keyshawn pulls a gun on him and tells him to leave Derek alone. But everybody sees you getting your butt whooped. Everybody sees you getting your butt whooped. Somebody is there to help you and assist you, and then you point the gun at the person that's there to help you and to assist you. A mess. So after that is finished, Diamond runs back to the cloud room because he hears the shots. There are 2 shots that ring off. You see up under the door blood, and it flips off to the auction. Now we see Uncle Clifford. We see Mercedes. And we see Haley at the auction. So that tells me, and what I think that happened is that Mercedes must have picked up the gun and killed Montravius. And Haley and Uncle Murder and Diamond did something with the body. If they were smart, they'd have found there's some alligator infested waters and dropped him on in there. Because I know there's a Mississippi backcountry back there like that. So we get to the auction. Uncle Clifford him and his grandmother Ernestine. They are dressed to go to a funeral because because the Pink is about to be dead. And Andre, you remember I talked about Andre. Andre is the godson of the mayor, and his wife are there. And Andre has the authority to bid $200,000 for the Pink. Nobody thought it was going to go. But honey, here comes Miss Haley, a.k.a. Autumn Child. She comes in with her bag of money, and they start the auction. They started off with what he owes. I think it was like $55,000 or $56,000. Andre bids, and then they type 57, and his wife is like, "Why do you keep bidding? Because there's nobody here to bid against you, honey." Here comes Miss Haley, $60,000, and he says $75,000. Then she said $150,000. Then he said $175,000. Then she said $250,000. Boy, Andre was on that phone trying to call the investment people to see if he can get some more money to invest in that thing. He couldn't get them right. But he's enthralled with Haley. He's trying not to let his wife know. His godfather is pissed off. Bid. Just bid. If you bid, they'll be okay with it. But he wanted to get authorization. He didn't want to do nothing without authorization. Baby, Haley came in and they took it for the $250,000. She paid $250,000 for the Pink, which was only worth $50-some thousand. You don't even have no money to do no alterations or nothing. But anyway, that's enough said on that. They own it out. She owns it outright, and that's where the episode, the season ends. And so I'm gonna end this video. We're gonna end this video because we are gonna do a watch along video of season 2, episode 1. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I see y'all watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like and leave a comment. If there is a show that you would like for me to review, please email me at PamEntertainmentTV@gmail.com. And as always, people, bye-bye.